Good morning.
Hello.
Yay.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I was really worried if it was, I've been having issues with Zoom and getting on Zoom meetings, so I'm really happy to be on here.
Yay, I'm so glad you made it.
Me too. I don't know why, like with David's, I've had such a hard time getting on David's. Like I've spent like 15, 20 minutes trying to get on and I don't understand. Like I click his Zoom thing and I get the, have to, register. Then I register and I still get that. I don't understand. And then I use the meeting ID he has. I don't know what my problem's been. Like it's been 3 times. That's
frustrating.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody else is ever, and not just his. There's actually another one that I had issues with too. So weird.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Paul. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. Okay, good. Hi, Charlene. Yay.
Hi.
All right, so I'm going to hit the record button after a couple of announcements. Just to talk to our trailblazers. First off, I wanted to give a very warm welcome to Paul Levine, who is coming in this month as a groundbreaker to learn the agreement process. And I told him to take advantage of everything. I'm like, even though you're here with a focus and an intention, like dive into all that we're doing. This Wednesday is our group mastermind, and we are obviously going to be, I'll check in with everybody on, is there anything important that you need support with? But then we're going to keep following along on our journey to create this funnel system that's designed to make you thousands of dollars, and we'll be able to allow you to teach that not only to our community but beyond. Hi, Dr. Nadia. Welcome. And so mark your calendars. It's going to be a Wednesday at 11:45. And also today, the Mastermind Monday has changed to 1 o'clock. So we moved it so that we could have lunch from 12 to 1. And then 1 o'clock is our Mastermind Monday. And so just to let you know, even if you can't make it, feel free to always post in the Facebook group. Go ahead and leverage that you're a founding member if you want. Like you're a founding member, those of you that are in here. So please use that all you want. And also, Trailblazers, did everybody see the magazine link for your directory listing? Okay, perfect. Okay, so if you can, we want to get the magazine out in April. So if you can complete that by the 15th. I should be recording this now that I'm thinking. Well, it's live on the Facebook group. By the 15th of this month, that would be wonderful. Just to let you know, these are listings that are going to be like a column like this, right? So you want to add a photo, and we can add a logo on the other side, but you'll get more text if you just pick one image, but you do have the option to do 2. That's totally up to you. It'll just be a little less text. Now, to remind you, this is going to be printed, but it's also going to have hyperlinks because we work with Karen Elkin's system, and we hyperlink everything, and it actually reaches more people through the digital version than the printed version. So be thinking about, is there an offering that you have to where you can build your list, right? Maybe there's a giveaway that you have. Maybe there's something special on your website that you want to send them to. So utilize those links, and I don't care if you have a couple of them in there. You know what I mean? Like if one is for, here's my website, and one's an opt-in for a gift, feel free to do that. What you're doing. Any questions about some of those things so far? No. Lisa, I know you mentioned the 6th. Did everybody have the 6th on their calendar or just the 13th?
When I had spoken to you, you had said 13th, so I put the 13th on my calendar.
Yep.
Is that correct?
I do have the 13th, 20th, and 27th. We are doing a teaching. We do have our mastermind.
Okay. So do you have it the 6th as well?
That's where I'm conflicted. So I'm curious what the community has.
I didn't have it in my calendar for the 6th.
Nope.
It was not in my calendar for the 6th.
Okay, then we're off on the 6th, and then it'll be the 13th that we're doing that. And then I did get Bert, so I'll let you know when he's teaching, but they did say that they're gonna squeeze him in this month for the social media training.
Okay, so we don't have a training on Wednesday this week, but we have one next week at 11:45.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And then one last thing, I'm going to be having somebody reach out to you because we need to start the small group mastermind. And so I want to, because we didn't do that the first month, I want to schedule a day retreat, and it may take us a couple weeks to get it going here, but I want to schedule a day retreat for the Trailblazers at my house, and it'll be a working retreat, a working mastermind, and I'm looking in the month of April. So I'm going to post some dates in the group, and I'd love to get your feedback. So this will be where you come to my house. I'm on the beach, and I've got some great games that we'll play that'll be fun, but everything will be productive. You'll want to bring laptops, and it will be a working meeting. Lisa, you've been to some. Sonia, you've been to some. I've got some new ideas. I've been to Nancy Matthews' Illumination Retreat that'll really be powerful for us all too. So is everybody excited about coming to work for me on the beach?
Yes, I'll get your address on the beach.
Okay, perfect.
As you were on the beach.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let me hit record, and we will get started on the Agreements for Results Mastermind and next step. So I'm hitting record now. Okay, perfect. So welcome to week 2 of Agreements for Results and Collaboration. This is part of the Business Acceleration Network, where we are committed to showing you how to create sustainable partnerships, teaching you how to ask those questions that create a clarity, that create insight, that help us create that roadmap of where we're going. Also with the Agreements for Results, this also sets that stage for the culture we want to create of communication and conflict resolution. Because one of the things that we know is things change. And so the more that we can move with change, adapt with change, communicate with change, the more we can get that shared vision going. And so last week we did the video training, which hopefully that was good for you to give you the insight. Next week is going to be the same thing. I'm going to have the level 2 training at 10 o'clock. I will email that to you. I will post that in the video. And that will be another training, the next level of the Agreements for Results with some homework. So this week, my intention is to go through that, and then I gave you the assignment of working on an agreement. So in this process, just to let you know, my big vision is that every quarter we're going to have this agreements training, and you guys can plug in over and over and over again as a member. And in that training, I want you to bring me your agreement, right? Like this is, and even in our group, like I want to support you with that. So this is the place where you can say, hey, I'm working on this agreement, and we get to collaborate to help you create and learn this skill, because I do have to say that it's easy, but after doing 200 of them, it's like you learn all these things with language and the key questions to ask, because not sometimes, in partnerships to create that roadmap, it's the questions we ask that bring us clarity to go at a deeper level. So I wanted to first do a check-in with everybody. So the check-in will be put clear and concise your name, where you're from, and then kind of where you're at in this process. Did you get to watch the training? Did you start to create an agreement? Just let me know where you're at. And then if there is an intention that you have today, I'd like to hear that also. So Charlene, since you were here first, do you mind going first?
Sure. I watched the video and I downloaded the template, and I actually created a I would say fairly extensive agreement already with lots of objectives and all kinds of stuff in it for me, Bob, and Shannon. and Bob hasn't seen it yet. So I requested that he make his own and that we look at ours together and, mesh them up, because, it doesn't work for one person to dictate to the other person how things are going to go, right? It's a collaborative agreement. So, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Charlene, when you're ready, and I did just put this in the Facebook group, I'm really eager to see it. What I'd like everybody to do is to upload their agreement into Google Drive, or if you haven't, so there's a few of you that maybe you haven't started your agreement, you can go to that template, and under the template, it's either edit or file. Under the drop down, it'll say make copy. And so you click on make copy and it'll create a whole new doc with that template, and then just rename it. Put your name and my name, or some of you, like Paul's here working on a specific project. So I invited Paul, like, let's work on that agreement for you while you're here. So whatever agreement you choose, and I don't care if you have a few agreements going on. Now, I'm not going to spend the next week working on your agreement, but I'm here to coach you and guide you through this process. So do that, and then share it with me. Share it with me so that it becomes collaborative and I can start adding and contributing. That's what I love about Google Drive, is that we can work together on our agreements. Perfect. Charlene, any key things that you want to make sure we address today, or are you here for the journey?
Well, let's my agreement. I want to get more of an understanding of the time and value area. Like, I understand promises and measures of satisfaction, and I guess time and value is you're putting your time where it's going to be of the highest value to you. Is that right?
Yes, we'll talk about that. That's great.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, and I didn't get through consequences or conflict resolution yet in my agreement. So,
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, Miss Salloway, Lisa.
Hello, I'm Lisa Salloway, and I live here by the beach in Indian, Florida. And I watched the video, and I have pretty much most of the agreement done. But same thing, the conflict resolution. I'm still working on that. It's just a first draft.
Perfect. This is perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Anything that you want support with, or your intention for today?
So my intention for today is, again, just to have a deeper understanding. I've done this with you a couple times before, but I really want to, really kind of embody this and understand it more, because I think it's a great tool, like you say, for other partnerships that I plan to, engage in. So I love this process. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, Paul.
Hi. So I'm Paul Levin with I Deserve a Perfect Life. The assignment that I was given was to write the agreement for me and this program. And so I did that. And there were sections where I had to guess at, like, what does this really mean? Which I'm sure is part of the process here, to see what I came up with versus what it's supposed to be. I'm not even clear there's a supposed to be here, to be really sure. But my objective is to just get a better understanding of the process and really have a better understanding of the questions to ask. The questions to ask that will avoid trouble down the road. Did I cover everything?
That's perfect. That sounds wonderful to me. All right. Sonia, before you go, I'm just going to give you permission because you really are my intuitive business coach. And if everybody's okay, I would like to give Sonia permission to contribute anything that may be of value to this experience. Is everybody okay with that?
Thank you.
And Sonia, I don't mean to put any pressure on you, but I'm just letting you know that it's a open, you add value on a level that's beautiful. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So I'm Sonia Nagy. I'm in Orlando, Florida. And I am in the process of updating our original agreement that we had from quite a while back. And it's exciting to see the progress that's happened since then, because it's been a while since I've revisited the document. And one of the things that Shannon promoted me was to use my intuitive gift. And I've gone with that and run with that and do soul language and really creating a much bigger version of me and bigger version of me connecting with you. I see 4, 5. Paul, you're the only one on the call that is not one of my clients with soul language. So maybe that's a possibility in the future. So yeah, just to really help tap in at that higher level and asking really the agreement questions from the perspective. So wow, that's just a brand new awareness right now of even bringing that into this process. Yeah. And my intention for today is to get caught up on all of the little tasks that are sitting on my desk in front of me from last week. So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Nadia, welcome. Nadia, are you participating today? Are you, as we would call and experience the game, a hoverer? Speaking of the game, we're playing on the 15th at my house at 4 o'clock. Potluck, 4 to 5, if you can come. It's a lot of fun. Okay, Nadia?
Wait, I'm trying to, hello.
Hey.
Aloha.
We just moved this weekend to an amazing place here. I don't know if that shows it. We have, so I'm Nadia in my new home, I pray. And we've been working on agreements. And I love you guys. So that's about it for now.
Awesome. Were you able to find?
Very grateful to you too. So.
Were you able to find everything? You got the recording. You were able to find the agreements.
I listened to the recording. I read everything, and it's beautiful and perfect. And I wish I could like tattoo it onto us or something, So yeah, so I did my homework. Oh.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Nadia.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Christina.
Hi, I love you all too. I have not done my homework.
All right, all good.
I have been like brain flooded with my soul session stuff just this morning. I hadn't even done my sacred practice yet. I got all excited and started like messaging people, and Nancy Matthews wants to do a session. So I messaged her this morning, and so that's how I know I'm in alignment. I didn't even do my sacred practice yet, Sonia, so I have not done my homework. So I'm excited about it. I had started doing some agreement for Bert, coaching with Bert. He had suggested doing some of this. So I'm really looking forward to doing this and helping me kind of straighten out in my brain. The first one I'm going to do, other than talking with you, Shannon, this week is with my sister-in-law as an assistant, and making that agreement so then I can kind of get in my brain what it is that I really need and want, and my expectations of that role, whether she's the one who stays in it or I get other people. So I am excited and looking forward to doing it. I do have some kind of bullet points fleshed out that I want to flesh out a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to the process.
Awesome.
That's on the agenda today.
Perfect. And so I just wanted to add before we have Tammy, I'm so glad you're here. I just wanted to add that planning is where the profit is. And so this is part of the planning and laying that infrastructure. So awesome, Christina. It's going to bring you a lot of support and clarity in that. Tammy, our new founding member. Yay. So we're just doing an introduction, and the introduction is where you're located, and just to check in on where you're at with the process. Like, did you get a chance to watch the video? Did you download things? Have you started the agreement? And did you have any intentions for today or support, just so that I make sure I cover that?
So I'm brand new, just signed up literally Friday, I believe. I have been able to watch the videos. I live in Inglewood, Florida, which is about an hour and a half south of Tampa. I live in a little fishing village. It's a resort town. I've lived here since the mid-'80s. Most of my clients obviously are not in Inglewood, Florida. I had a really great meeting with Sonia on Saturday. I took her, I signed up to talk to her to learn more about what she does. And so we had a really good conversation. And I also had a really valuable introduction to her at the Business Acceleration event. So I'm very interested in what she's doing. So right now I'm just playing catch up. I have watched I believe the 3 videos related to getting started. I started to think about the agreement and how that would work. So that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't actually put anything to paper yet, but I'm excited because I have an opportunity I'll be out in Los Angeles with a big group of Greg Deswalt's people who I have worked with, some helping them get on TV and with some book publishing and some podcasting. So I'm going to take advantage of this to help me prepare for getting in front of about 500 people in April. And then of course I'm going to be participating in the Media Magic in April also. So April's I'd say going to be a big turning point month for me for my business. And then of course I'm also working on developing relationships so that I can help my clients. So that's where I'm at today.
Yay!
In my pajamas.
Perfect. I'm super excited. Tammy is going to be at Media Magic talking about, are we doing podcasts? The power of podcasts?
I think that's what we'll talk about, because to me, a podcast can be a foundational piece in a lot of different marketing and take you into book publishing. It can take you wherever you want it to go. So I think that'll be a good starting point.
And just so you know, I'm going to just segue here real quick. As a trailblazer, you get 2 VIP tickets to attend in part of your membership. And so you can go ahead and register with the Trailblazer link. And then Tammy is also going to be not only is she speaking, she's going to be one of the medium outlets on the marketing panel. She's also going to be there when we raise our hand and say, can you help me with this? And I feel so blessed because Tammy, there's a lot of people that can teach things. And they're good at it. They've done it in the past. Tammy is actively getting booked on the TV. She gets people booked on the TV. Like, I feel so blessed, Tammy, that you're coming to our community, and it's going to be awesome. So make sure you get set up for Media Magic, because it's going to be great. And Paul, if you're with us next month, you actually have 2 general admission tickets that you can upgrade if you decide to stay with us. So, all right, let's dive right in. I wanted to first talk about Charlene's question, just Charlene, so I can tag that right off the bat, the time value. So I'm going to go ahead and read what Stuart has in his book, so you're hearing it straight from the horse. First, I'm going to actually share what I think is key with the time value, because what's happened, at least with doing events, is there tends to be where I will do a lot of things that people may not recognize. And so I had this challenge where sometimes I would put people in magazines, I do the flyer, I do all of this marketing campaign, I put them on, a lot of energy to get them exposure that sometimes they may not see or recognize. So one of the past, this is not happening now, is they'd come back and go, well, this didn't happen, or there would be something where maybe they didn't see the full value. And so I love this part because it gets beyond the money. It gets beyond, like looking at the value of things that we may not see, like community. To me, when you have community, that has a huge value of not being alone and resource sharing. So time value, you obviously want to connect about the money, but I always invite people to look at what are other values that I'm getting or giving that may not be recognized, right? Is that making sense? So what Stuart says is all promises have deadlines for completion. So that's going to be really key in the timelines, like in the time value and in an agreement in general. Like, in order for us to follow the map of where we're going, we need to know by when. These are called by when. So, and when's will you do this, and by when will you do that? The length of time of the agreement will be effective is also important. So, for example, even though I mentioned let's do this agreement with me, go ahead and put 6 months to 12 months if your intention is to be with us, hopefully forever. But go ahead and put that time value. Value is an understanding of who gets what for what. Is the exchange satisfactory? Is it fair? Does it provide adequate incentives? So I guess that's another word, is like looking at those incentives that may not be recognized or noticed. Like some of the incentives we get with Christina being a part of our community is she captures things that live beyond the event. Like, it's incredible, Christine, because she captures it. And her deal is, I take pictures and I post them on the internet. But there's a value way beyond that this is things we've been able to use for the magazine. This is things we've been able to use for promotion. We can use for swipes in the future. So there's value that goes beyond just maybe that one agreement of a day at an event. The clarity is critical because everyone must anticipate satisfaction, or someone will sabotage the transaction. Remember that value has many forms and is essential to understand the different kinds of value people will be satisfied with. And that's also a key thing to ask, and part of why we look at measurements of satisfaction, because Sonia may see value in being showcased. Let's say her love language is appreciation, but Christina's love language is gifts. So if I'm trying to give Sonia money, even though she wants money, or you know what I mean? Like but it's good to know what values are important to people so that we can make sure that there's a match. So any questions about the time value? And Charlene, did that help a little bit for you? Okay, perfect. All right. The other thing that came up was the
Shannon?
Yes.
I want to jump in on time value, and I hear this really clear, is 90-day sequences are really powerful because we operate in quarterlies, seasonal ways. So to put a 90-day timeline will help you with getting things done quicker, as well as you want to look out, right? So not to be only restricted there, but I get 90-day timelines are really powerful for us.
Yes, because I think it gives you, like, if it's in 90 days, what am I going to do this month? What am I going to do next month? What am I going to do the following month? Which brings up another key thing, Sonia, and then Paul, I'll get right to you, is that it's really important to set up reviews with your agreements. Like you want to have that that check-in point, whether it be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, those reviews are where the gems are, because then you can see, is this still working? Do we need to change anything? Are we going in a different direction? If the agreement just stays in the drawer, it doesn't really have the power, that's the potential. Let's use that word. It doesn't have the potential by coming in and looking at the map and moving things around if needed.
On that point, is there a section that review goes into?
I usually put that into the time value, or at the very end, number 10, when I say we agree with this agreement, I'll just put right at the bottom and the next scheduled review, and I schedule it right at the time with the date and the time right there. And just so you know, there's really, like, you can't screw this up. There's been, when I was first doing this, I was like, oh, I was supposed to put this in this part. And at the end of the day, all that matters is that you cover each part, right? That you get these key points. It's okay if roles are undermatted, you just want to make sure you cover each piece in the agreement. Sonia.
And that you come together and have the discussion about the agreement.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And so oh, go ahead, Paul.
I did have a question back on time value.
Yes.
You had said at the very beginning when you were reading, all promises have due dates. And that's intriguing because I think I actually have in here some, no, I guess not in ours, but in the one that I have in my head for what I'm going to be working on here, there's promises of ongoing nature, like how to behave, that are not time specific.
And that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but where it could be time specific. So let me give you an idea, and I'm gonna kind of bounce to the conflict resolution. And I may have talked about this in the video, but I'm just gonna re-emphasize this. Is if the behavior is showing up for somebody's trigger or conversation or fear or concern, then I do sign a time value on that, because we always want to be present for conflict. Does that make sense? We want to move towards it quickly and not like what I've found is that if we can come at things neutrally and going, okay, this is just Sonia's just wanting to talk to me. She's processing something that I just need to be there to support her and be in a neutral space. Then that's key. And I think I shared in there how some of the employees would process things. It would affect productivity. It would affect all kinds of things unconsciously. We're not really conscious of what's happening because we're thinking we're processing it. When really, if I just have the conversation with Sonia or Paul, you know what I mean? Hey, Paul, this is what I was expecting, or this is what I was hoping for. We can usually clear it up in just a couple of moments.
This is traditionally where people will get blocked and they won't move forward. So this will, like she's saying, energetically, it puts a lot of crap out, and we're all affected by it because we're in community. So I'm just going to really push the community issue on it and say, do it for the community, do it, let something push you into that conflict resolution and bring it quick. Don't let it sit and fester and get bigger like a blister. Don't, It doesn't have to get big enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you got into the deal for a reason, right? I think you said this in the actual outline, Shannon. Okay, I mean, you got in for a reason. So if you promised to always come back to the reason, the intention, then yeah, Sonia, you're right.
Yeah. Well, this is where all of you are leaders. And I just want you to know that once we go through this and you get really trained, I'm actually going to be highlighting you guys as trained in the agreement process. Because what happens is that all of us, like, especially, I'm going to just use me as a spiritual person, I want to take full responsibility for what my feelings are, right? And I want to try to process things and work through it. And that's great. I think that's powerful. And when we can get to neutral and just say, I'm just showing up and I'm sharing what's in my mind. And it doesn't mean it's real, even like some of this stuff it's just could be something from my mom. It could be a past thing, but I'm showing up to always keep the energy clear and do it quickly. It's important. So I do put timelines on how we show up for conflict. Maybe part of your culture you're creating is celebrations. So you might say, once a week on Friday, we come together for celebrations. You get to decide. So I'm just letting you know that, Paul, that even though there's things that don't have timelines, just look as a culture of where there might be blocks that stop us from behaving that way. And if it stops us from behaving a certain way because of how we've, and I just keep going back to conflict, then put that in there as a timeline of you're going to show up even if it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I like to say 24 hours, you at least let me know. And this applies for all of you. All of you are in agreement with me right now. And so if something's up for you in this program, you're stuck. You're having a conflict. I said something that God forbid, that hurt you. Then send me a text saying, hey, Shannon, I have something I need to clear, or something came up for me, or I'm a little triggered. And I'm going to do everything humanly possible in my part of the agreement to make time within 48 hours for this relationship. Yes?
I'm guessing we'll talk about the conflict resolution section, but you actually have those details, which I loved, the 24 and 48 hours in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to move to the conflict resolution after I hear Charlene.
Yeah, Shannon, because I don't know if anybody else is in the same position that I am, where they have a partner that they're working with, but I don't only have a partner, I have a husband that I'm working with. So I'm just wondering how that dynamic is going to work for you, because conflict resolution isn't just going to be between us and you. It's going to be between the two of us as well.
Yes. So how that shows up is, and I'm going to invite all of you to do this too, is not try to figure it out now. Don't try to work on it now. When it shows up, we'll tune in to what's going on and be present to what's going on. And because I've been on this path for over 10 years, I'm going to bring whatever skill, whatever wordsmithing, whatever I can to support you on that journey, but I'm not going to try to figure it out now.
Yeah, perfect.
I just know, and I invite you guys to do that in your process. Like, let's not try to figure out what people are going to say or do. Let's just show up for each other and do that. Does that sound good, Charlene? Awesome. And we're going to work through whatever comes up because we're committed. Go ahead, Paul.
Just for Charlene and asking you, just at the base level, it just means that if there's a conflict that involves the both of you, you'll both come and notify Shannon immediately, and like that. Or if, it's I could just see the two tagging up on, teaming up against one, but that's no. You don't want to do that.
No. And those of you that have worked with me know that I love conflict. I'm not looking for one, but I love, how do I say it? I love what Sonia does of being a peacemaker. And there's
conflict resolution.
Yeah, that's it. I love conflict resolution. It makes me so overjoyed when somebody's like, I'm struggling with this and I don't know what to do. And to give them the words or the map or the clarity, it gets me high as life. So it's wonderful. Okay, Charlene.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, because I noticed that you work with a lot of small entrepreneurs. So I guess it's not just, that it's like if one of us is working with a partner, married or not, do you have experience in having like three parties involved in one of these agreements versus just, you and the other person you're working with, or you and the entity, or, whatever. And I get that when it comes up, yeah, it'll all be fine and we'll all come together. And I understand that part. But I guess I was just wondering if you have worked inside of that box before.
Yeah. So when I had Conscious Living Partnership, I had 9 employees and we had a collaborative employee agreement. So I had individual agreements, but we also had an agreement of our shared vision, our shared intention, our roles to move that company mission and vision together. We actually had a major change. And so this is going to lead into the conflict. I want to share this with you. I had hired an executive director that I worked with for a year and a half. And after a year and a half, she just got angry and rage filled. And she was in her 50s or 60s and just was mean and bitter and cruel and attacking. And I did everything humanly possible. I brought in a Byron Katie expert, and that's why I have that in that agreement. I mean, I spent thousands of dollars in trying to create resolution with this individual. And one day she came in and I walked up to her and I said, I walked up, and one of the things is you don't do things publicly, right? If you have an issue with somebody, like if you have an issue with Christina, it's going to be best, and you'll hear me say this, people that come to me for input, I'll say, go to Christina directly, right? So I went up, I whispered in her ear, and I said, honey, I think you need to pack up your stuff and take the rest of the day off, and we'll see you back tomorrow when things are doing a little bit better. So the next day, anyways, long story short, I ended up going for a ride with her and I let her go. And so then I had to deal with all of my employees, because there were employees that loved her, but there were employees that knew that this has been a major issue. So we actually brought people together, and this is what you do with teams. When you're dealing with teams and there's change, you immediately get everybody together and you talk about what happens with change. And so I said, look, change is a part of life. And we have to deal with it. And I gave everybody a voice. First question was, how did you feel when you first found out? What's going on with you? So each person got to share, I'm feeling fearful. I'm feeling concerned. I was angry. Like everybody got a voice, right? And then the next question was, okay, we've made this change. How can we move forward with this? What's the next step? So it took this experience that could have dragged on by just firing her like they do in a lot of corporations, right? They just fire people and they move on. Literally, just by taking this 3 to 4 hour sit down, people went from inspired, on purpose, on track, because they had a voice to share their fears and concerns, and we addressed them. Just like we do in the agreements, right? We addressed them, and then we got back on track with the vision and intention. And we talked about change, and it was so beautiful. So in teams, when there's a big change, don't turn your head. Like this is why this agreement's so powerful, and why I keep saying conflict resolution, move towards it, is that when we give it a voice and give people a voice, many times it's just letting them be heard can shift things. So, and I love that particular moment was a big transformation for me, because I didn't know how to deal with change, right? I didn't know how to deal with something. And part of why I kept her so long is because I was worried about how it would impact my team. I was taking the beating for my team. And I was like, no more. Okay, so let's talk about conflict resolution and renegotiation. So, right, those are the two that we wanted to talk about. And I'm going to teach everybody sign language. This is yes, this is no. So,
are we gonna go through the entire thing section by section?
We did that in the first training. So this is really designed to support you with what you need in your agreement. So if you have specific things, then this is where you put it in the chat room or raise your hand. So right now I'm going through just the few things that came up of what was addressed, because a few of you said this is, I didn't get here.
So that first training, is that recorded and available on the Facebook?
Yeah, it's the one that you watched that went through the
20
thing.
minutes?
Yes.
The 20-minute one. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so in this program, ideally and you're going to see, I'm going to do this in the Media Magic program too. I'm going to give you the training with homework, and then we're going to come together to work on the homework and help you move forward, right? Then I'll give you the training again, and then we'll come together and work and keep moving forward. Does that work for everybody?
Mhm.
It really works for me. So I'm so excited because then I'm laser focused. All right, so renegotiation. So no matter, and I'm reading right from Stuart's book because I want you to hear from the amazing individual. No matter how optimistic or clear we are, it becomes necessary to renegotiate promises and conditions of satisfaction. Circumstances change. It's crucial, it's critical to anticipate this at the beginning so the relationship can evolve and prosper. So it's saying we need to be able to evolve. We need to be able to shift. It's also crucial to provide everyone with the exit strategy that they can follow with dignity. So this is one of the things that I didn't say in the training is we need to discuss exit strategies. Because if we talk about the exit strategy, why we feel good, then it's a lot easier to manage when it's not going so good. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
We want to determine, okay, this isn't, I'm going a different way. How will we deal with that? Okay, you'll take this part of the business, I'll take this part of the business, or I'll give you 30 days to help with the transition and hire somebody else, right? Like talk about the exit strategy now, why it feels good, and do that in the renegotiation and dissolution part. Everyone who feels imprisoned in a transaction, partnership, or relationship cannot make his or her maximum contribution to the enterprise. It is essential to recognize that the relationship is much more important than the agreement. Things keep moving forward if the functional relationships are intact, not because of the lengthy legal contract. So ideally, as we say in the agreement, this is a part where you have the template, but this is also where you want to add your own things about the exit strategy or things that are important for you in the renegotiations. And this is a part where attorneys flip. I just have to tell you, because I've had a lot of these processes where I had to have legal protection, right? Like I had to have an attorney make it official because it was a pretty big deal. And I wanted to make sure that we had some legal support. And it was beautiful because I'd have attorneys, no, you can't do this. And I'd have Stuart by my side going, make him do it. Yes, this is a part of the agreement. And so as long as both people agree to that understanding, then it's fine, right? Does that make sense? I want to come up with something other than saying, does that make sense? Does anybody have any suggestions for that? I'm asking for help. Because I spoke the last 2 days and I kept saying, does that make sense? And I just, seems repetitive. So if you guys have ideas, let me know.
Is it clear?
I don't particularly like it, but the MMI uses good or good.
Good or good?
Yes. Yes.
Clear. Okay.
Yeah, and I also think
I learned in hiking and backpacking and everything is ask the question in the way where the people who you're going to have more of the people who are understanding, or like we would say, if you say is everybody ready to go, everybody would say yes. But if there's the one person who's in the woods going no, you can't hear them. So if you ask it in a way of who doesn't understand or who isn't ready to move forward or something like that, you'll get the fewer people who aren't along to raise their hand or say, oh wait, I'm not ready. So you get the minority question, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I would say, is there anybody else that needs further support in this particular part? Like that?
Yeah. Or does anyone have question? Yeah, is anyone questioning this, or is anybody? Yeah, I think that's perfect. Because most people are gonna be fine to move forward, but there might be that one or two who's afraid to go against the grain and say, I don't understand.
Okay, thank you. I love that. Thank you.
Survival mechanism.
And Shannon, one other recommendation, if you feel like you're saying the same thing all the time, have 2 or 3 in your pocket that you can use that have the same outcome.
Okay, great. Oh, I love you guys. Okay, thank you.
Kevin Trudeau used comments, questions, or concerns.
Okay, perfect. I like that one too. Okay,
We'll
comments.
also talk about, would you also read the section on consequences?
That's where I was going to move next. Is everybody,
Yep.
any questions about the last part before I move forward? All right, good. Okay, so consequences. There are two kinds of consequences. And so although you may not want to police the agreement, it is important to agree on consequences for everyone who breaks promises. Equally, if not more important, it is essential to understand the consequences to everyone, including people who are not even a part of the agreement, if the collaboration does not accomplish its purpose. So this is the part where we look at two things. What if we don't reach the vision and intention, right? What if it doesn't happen? And this can kind of be, I know this part is not always fun. It's like, we don't have the impact, or we go bankrupt, or, it can be a negative thing, but you at least want to look at those consequences, but then you look at your individual consequences of what's going to happen. So for me, I just did it this morning. Like I made an agreement with you guys to start the small mastermind group, right? Mm-hmm. And I wasn't able to keep that agreement the first month. There was a lot going on. I didn't do it. So to make up for that, I'm going to do a day retreat at my house to make up for that. So we look at what are, if there's a broken promise, my thing is, how am I going to fix it right away? How am I going to make it to where it's a win-win-win for everybody? So you get to determine your consequences. This is the part where some people have said, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym, or, maybe there's things that are pain consequences. I know some people go there, whatever moves you with that consequence, but at least have that be something that motivates you. Any comments, questions, or concerns about consequences? Okay. So I want to have each of you share. I want to just talk about my real quick. I know, Tammy, you weren't here in the very beginning, but I put this in the Trailblazers group. But I would like each one of you, as you've started your agreement, to put your initials on your part. So like Paul, you'd put PL, and then you would put a part for me that says SG. Right? So that I can contribute my part. I wanted to let you know, and I may have discussed this, but I just want to make sure I reiterate it. This agreement is for training purposes and for our relationship. So I'm doing it a little different than I'm suggesting and he teaches. I'm letting us contribute our parts and look at our parts, right? Because this is for training purposes. But if I'm going to be, for example, I'm going to be meeting with Christina, and I'm going to actually get together with Christina, and I'm going to sit with the laptop, and we're going to have a dialogue, and I'm going to type and she's going to type, and we're going to create the agreement together, because I don't want her to read what's in my head and prejudge, right? I don't want her to think she understands what I'm typing or what I'm saying without having the conversation. The power is in the exchange. Right now, because this is for training and expediting things, we're doing this way because I'm neutral. Does that make sense? I've done this enough to where I'm going to say this is a process. But with you being new and with you having relationships, you can give it to them and have them write it down, and you can give it to you and have you write it down, but use that to come together to co-create. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to give everybody a voice. And so I want to hear from each one of you, any final remarks, any questions, anything of where you're at with this process. But Tammy, what I was saying is put it up, go ahead and start creating your agreement. My deliverables are, I'm going to be cutting and pasting from the Trailblazers process. And then there's some other things, because some of you are in the inner circle and I'm helping you develop a curriculum. So we'll be adding, inner circle beta and some of that extra stuff. Some of you, we may have you paying for your meals, right? So we'll put that agreements in there and create it as we're going together. Tammy, I also let everybody know that I'm going to be doing this 4 times a year in the program so that we can continue to strengthen this muscle. And you can always use our Facebook group to ask questions anytime. Like, that's why we have this group, so that you can get any feedback on agreements. If you want to share your agreement in the, I'm thinking because it's with me and some of yours are unique, let's keep them between us. But if you're doing, Paul, you're doing an agreement with somebody and you might need help, or Lisa, you're doing an agreement with somebody you need help, you can share that in the group and do that there. Does that make sense? But I'm thinking because some of them may be unique, some of you, let's keep those between you and I. All right, so I'm gonna have Christina go first.
What's the question?
We're just, you know, that anybody that's a part of what I do, I love letting you share in the beginning just as a check-in, and I love, you know, at the very end, if you have any questions. I want to make sure that everybody, and this is a team building thing that you want to do on your teams. It's so important to let everybody be heard. Is there any comments, questions, concerns, or ideas or ahas? I just want you to be heard.
Thanks. I love you. I'm excited about this because this is the year I know I'm going to be building my team. So having this base is really important for me. So I'm looking forward to kind of fleshing it out with you guys and having that support. And it really helps me to have like some deadlines, you know, we're like, oh, I've got to finish the homework by whatever. So that I actually do it. So having that accountability is really nice to be in this group for that too, and having that support. So I'm really excited about all of that. So thanks.
Perfect. I'm going to have Paul go next. And I just wanted to remind you guys that next week is going to be a training, and I'm going to be going through some of the questions that I've asked in my key business contracts for strategy. So I'm going to be diving a little bit deeper on this process. And I encourage each one of you to at least get your first draft of the agreement, right? Between now and next Monday, if you can at least get a first draft of our agreement or some agreement that's important to you, so that you can start going back and going, oh, wow, did I include this or did I include that? And if you're ready, and I'm encouraging you to do this, this will be your homework for next week. So I'm giving you a heads up. I want you to make an agreement with somebody else. I want you to plan to meet with somebody and actually work on an agreement together, have that dialogue. So you may want to schedule that now after we go through that training. Okay, Paul, you're up.
Sure. Real quick. I think I've got a pretty good understanding of each section. When I put it up on Google Docs, is that everybody has access to that, or just you? Because I just shared it to you.
Only me. That
Perfect.
one, only me. Yep.
Perfect. All right, cool. I'm good.
Thank you. I'm so excited you're here. Yay.
I do have to run. I have another call, okay?
Okay, perfect. All right, Tammy. Bye, Paul.
Bye-bye.
I'm feeling a little bit not prepared. So basically, I'll be working on, I guess, the first agreement between the two of us, and then I think I actually have quite a few people I could do other agreements with. So that's what I'll be focusing on.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I answered the question.
So one of the things, I don't want anybody to have super pressure here. I'm going to give you guys homework, and I want you to know, Tammy, you're perfect prepared. You showing here, you're starting to integrate this process in your business and start thinking about it. I would like to do the agreement just so that we have a understanding of I know your needs and you can know mine, and we're clear. It is, you know, everything's spelled out of the deliverables in what we agreed upon. However, I think this is a great safe practice ground. However, like Paul, for example, he has agreement that's important. If any of you have an agreement that's important, that we're going to be together for a while. So, you know what I mean? This doesn't have to get done. So Tammy, if you have something where you're trying to negotiate something with something and you want to work on that agreement, then please, you get to choose what you want to do, and we'll support you with that.
Thanks.
Perfect. Charlene, and then I'll go Lisa.
I think the conversation was very fruitful today, and I'm just excited to see how it unfolds.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm going to encourage Bob to, watch this today and, get going on this, because I think that this is going to be I think it's actually going to be core to our success. Yeah. So.
It's a game changer. And I'm going to confess right now, as I've been doing a lot of things on handshakes, and they've worked incredibly and beautifully. And the places where I've taken the time to do these agreements have been beautiful. And it's so worth putting that time and energy in. And I remember Lisa and I, at one point, it was like, oh, I thought something, she thought something. And it was so great because we just went back to the agreement and it was right there. It was so crystal clear. There was no, it was awesome. All right, Lisa, you're next.
So just clarifying that once we send you a drafted document, then you're going to add to it, and we'll have a conversation to make sure we're good and clear and we have a working document.
Yes, I will start adding to it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect.
That's it for me.
Yay. All right. And Sonia, are you Nadia, can you contribute? Any final comments, questions? Concerns? The only thing with concerns is it's planting that seed. I'm wondering if there's another one.
Well, it's really just addressing that they could be there.
Okay.
Hi, I'm driving, and I have Nige in the background. So what?
I know.
Yeah. So I guess the thing is, like, there are all these unspoken things. And so how, when you make agreements with people, do you do your best to feel what they're really wanting and needing behind their words? I know you wrote it out, but that's a place where you can have all the words to be the correct words, but if there's that place that's the unseen, and bless you and thank you. So.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just going to share about that. And what I think is powerful is that you're right. There's all kinds of things that are not seen or heard, and we try to hit on that with the fears and concerns part of the agreement, so that we can give people that voice. But what I found is when we have this culture of communication and how we talk about it, then as things come back, then we can go to that resolution area of here's what's here, and hopefully ask, because Nadia, a lot of us are intuitive and we may feel that unspoken thing, and we can ask, hey, is this, should we talk about this? Or is this a concern? And so I'm glad you brought that up, Nadia.
Okay. And just lots of thanks again. So.
Beautiful. Okay, Sonia.
Can I say something? Can I say something, Shannon, real quick? I think, there's the things that we say we're committed to, and then there's the hidden and unspoken commitments that we have, or unexpressed. And sometimes those things are actually very opposite of each other. And I think where it starts to come out is in the actions. Like, are people completing their actions, or are they not? And so when someone's not completing an action, that means there might be a hidden and unexpressed commitment or something that's going on for them. So I agree with you that once we start to see a pattern of actions not getting done in a timely fashion without some type of status report that explains why, I think that's when we have to dive back in and say, okay, what are those hidden concerns or fears that you have about this?
You nailed it. You nailed it, Charlene. That's awesome. And I was just sharing yesterday at the WPN that that when something's not working, I always look to me first and say, is a system broken? Because I don't believe people are broken. I believe systems are broken. And so that tends to be, you know, was I clear? What, like, I want to go internal first and fix whatever I can, and then see what we can do. But you nailed it. If something's not on a timely fashion, it's a great time to say, okay, let's come together. All right, Sonia.
Yeah. So what's coming up for me, for us, is the revisiting. You know, making a maybe it's a monthly revisit of the contract, especially for you and Bob, Charlene. Like, and wherever we're feeling, like Nadia was saying, wherever we're feeling, that goes in our fears and concerns, right? If I'm feeling that you're not going to show up or things aren't operating right, if I'm feeling that, it's good for me to express that in my fears and concerns, because then we can address it. Then it's out on the open, out on the table. And I'm really looking forward. I have actually three agreements that I'm working on. So there's the agreement with you, Shannon, and then there's the agreement with somebody's going to be working with me in my retreat. And we've already have an appointment for Thursday to work together. So that's exciting, because I've already had a little bit of this awareness work with you before. And now looking at, I'm doing soul coaching, and to be able to bring this agreement process into that and really go from that perspective of, what does my soul want me to agree to, and taking it into that kind of level. So that's the just came on this call awareness. And I want to look at that, and how does that work, and could I walk somebody else through that for them?
That's awesome. Yay. Okay.
So,
I have one final request that I really would love from each one of you, is if you can go into the Trailblazers group and set your 30-day intention for this month. It's so powerful. We can have these year goals, these 90-day goals, like, what is it that you want support with this month? And if you can tie it to revenue or impact, then my brain can support you and help you in different ways. So revenue or impact. An impact could be, I'm getting on TV, or I'm hiring Tammy to do, you know, like let us know what your intention is this month to move your business forward. Yay. All right.
did Christina close out? Did she do hers?
I don't.
Okay. All right. She was first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. I love you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. Please make sure you go register for Media Magic. Just put in the code Trailblazer, all one word. And I will see you next week. And I'm here if you need anything. Please feel free to reach out. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.